So we will call the August 7th meeting of the Downtown Development Authority to order. I'm going to do roll call.
Certainly. Saint Laurent,
Here.
McLeod,
Here.
Hutnick,
Here.
Tar absent, Lee absent, Poznanski,
Here.
and Rose here.
Okay, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of agenda. I have an addition of a funds request. So if we can put that under
Is that mine or someone else's?
someone else's. So
Oh.
2 fund requests.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have fund
Yep.
request. Should we put it under financial report or
I would put it under new business,
under new business? Okay.
and depending if you want to throw it at the bottom or
We can put it at the
scooch it at the
top.
top.
Yeah, we'll put it at the top. So we'll make it A and B.
Okay.
Okay.
A and B funding requests.
Fund request 1 and fund request 2.
I have a correction.
Mhm.
4C, approval of minutes for July 10. It says special meeting minutes. It should actually be regular meeting minutes.
Okay. Does someone want to make a motion to approve with those corrections?
I'll make the motion to approve with corrections.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, agenda is approved. So then we have our minutes from 3 meetings.
So, just to clarify, you doing them all together or separate?
You can probably,
Our last packet did not include the complete June 5th regular meeting minutes, so that's why that's in there now at this date.
Right.
So we have that now completed.
I would suggest doing them all separate. That way, if there's corrections, you have an easy motion to follow as you're taking your notes.
okay, so let's do first the one on June 5th at 7 PM. I have 2 dated June 5th.
You've got a informational meeting followed by a regular meeting.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so the first one's the informational meeting for June 5th.
I make a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, first one is approved. The second one is for Monday, June 5th, the regular meeting. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
opposed? Okay, second one is approved. And the third one for July 10th, which was our last regular meeting. Okay, motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second. By Marty, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope, okay. All agendas and approval of minutes. All right, public forum? Is there anyone that has anything for public forum? Okay, moving on to financials. Deborah?
Yes, so in this month, we received 2 donations totaling $1,500. towards Vintage Fest. And we also, I got together with Julie DeClerc, and we went through the accounting and got everything set up for the new budget, and are tracking now to the new budget numbers.
Can you speak into your microphone a little more?
Is that better? Okay.
Okay, any questions on the financial report?
I'll make a motion to approve the, no, I'm sorry, you're not there yet. That's the report.
Okay, so now we're on to approval of bills for payment.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills. Total bills presented are $13,853.41.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, do roll call.
St. Laurent,
Yes.
McLeod,
Yes.
Hutnick,
Yes.
Poznanski,
Yes.
Rose, yes. Pass 5. Should be considered 5-0 with the 2 absent.
Perfect, all righty. Okay, so now we'll move on to our committee reports. All committees were able to meet in the last month, so that's great. So we have a committee report from each pillar.
Hold on. Do we have another finance? Was that June?
Oh, did we not approve
Yeah,
bills in June?
you,
We had,
We
it looks like
did.
there was something
We
left.
didn't.
we just did the June. We now have the July.
Well, these were both the same things.
You've got a June and then a July.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yep. So we need to approve the bills for July still?
Correct.
Okay, any questions on the bills for July or a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll support for the amount of $5,779.40.
Roll
Waiting
call.
on me.
Yep,
St. Laurent,
yes.
McLeod,
Yes.
Hutnick,
Yes.
Poznanski,
Yes.
Rose, yes. 5-0.
Okay, so now we can move on to committee reports. So the first one is employee subcommittee, and you should have in your packet our reports from our meeting. So Deborah and I met. Our goal was to create the 3 job descriptions as discussed at the last meeting. Executive director, grant writer, and office administrator. We've completed office administrator. We're gonna have to meet again to do the grant writer and the executive director. But our recommendation at this point in time is that we have completed the office administrator job description, and with the board's approval, we would like to submit this for approval from our attorney. And then upon approval of from our attorney, we would like to place an advertisement in Indeed and on the DDA Facebook page and website for an office administrator not to exceed 20 hours per week at a rate of pay of $14 to $17 per hour based on experience.
So I have a question. On this sheet, it says 14 to 17, but on this sheet, it says 15 to 17. Which one do we want to
So
pass?
we'll have, this one should be changed to 14 then.
Okay.
They should both be 14 to 17, sorry.
No problem. So do we need a motion to approve this as is to go to the
Well, we-
attorney?
Yeah, so what we'd like is a motion to approve it and to post the job listing, post the advertisement for the job off job posting.
I don't know that I can repeat that, but I'll try.
I have it written right there. That's the motion as it's written.
Perfect. Let me see. Okay, so the motion is,
To place an
the
advertisement.
second one?
Yep,
Okay, the motion, I would like to make a motion to place the advertisement in Indeed and on DDA Facebook website for office administrator not to exceed 20 hours per week at a rate of $14 to $17 per hour based on experience.
okay, so that's the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, and then any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. First of all, this is the employment subcommittee,
Mhm.
correct? Can I, for clarification, it says attendance Deborah or McLeod and Saint Laurent.
Mhm.
Who's on that committee?
Greg Tar,
Tars on the committee, was not in attendance?
correct.
And then this is to place an ad,
Correct.
correct? Not
Mhm.
necessarily
Not necessarily
to
hire.
hire or spend money or anything
Nope.
like this. The
It would
ad
be a
is-
free advertisement.
The ad is free?
Mhm. Yeah, you can do on Indeed, you can do paid or unpaid, so we would do unpaid to see what that garners us as far as potential applicants. And then obviously, before we, any move would made, we'd come back to the board and follow the hiring process there.
Okay, understood. And on this job description, if we get to this point, I would certainly suggest we have some sort of this person would be somebody would be their supervisor. I wouldn't want to get into a point where there's just an office admin for any one of us to use at
Nope,
our
the
discretion at
job
any
des-
time. There's got to be some controls on that.
Yep, and that's,
I don't see that listed on here. I would put who their actual
Who they report
supervisor
to.
would be, who would they report to,
Mhm.
just so that they've got some direction from one person.
yep, I can make a note of that when we send it to the
Yeah.
attorney for approval.
So that's one suggestion. There's discussion regarding greet and welcome guests when they arrive. When they arrive, where? I might wanna,
It says up
Define
here
that.
that they would be working in our Downtown Development Authority office. So when if there's any guests that come to the office, we, work with the, Chamber of Commerce. So welcoming them when they come into the office,
so
anyone else that may
when
come
they
to the
arrive
office.
to the office?
Correct.
Is that what this
Yep.
should say?
Yeah, so we can add that
I would
text in there.
add that, just trying to be,
Sure.
get the specifics. Direct visitors to the appropriate person. Again, I just think there should be some specifics. The appropriate person, depending on, I guess, what they're looking for, right? It may be
Right.
village, it may be,
Maybe a board member, maybe, any of those, any organization that we work with.
and then lastly, from what I see here, it just simply says job type, full-time.
Oh, so
Um,
this should change to part-time.
If it's in fact part-time, and then bracket some sort of hours per week, I guess, just
Yeah,
so
20
again, that's
hours.
clarified.
Yep, it would be it's at the top, it says 20 hours.
Okay, so
It's just
job
yeah.
type should be part-time / 20 hours.
Yeah, so we
Okay,
can make those changes.
thank you, that's all I had.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions?
I guess my thought would be, in reference to the budget in conjunction with this,
Mhm.
was that looked at and taken into consideration of what we're offering?
Yep, so we're gonna have to make some budget adjustments anyway coming up. So this would be something in that discussion that we have, is making those changes. This wouldn't be spending any money or committing to hire anybody, it's just starting the process.
Right. I just don't want to put it out there if it's not
Yeah,
then feasible.
right.
Okay.
Any other questions, discussion?
Whose motion was that?
Deborah?
And does it still stand with the corrections or changes?
Oh, shall I restate it with changes?
With the corrections?
Sure.
As noted, yep.
I'd like to make a motion to place an advertisement in Indeed and on the DDA Facebook website for office administrator not to exceed 20 hours per week at a rate of $14 to $17 per hour based on experience and with the changes noted from this meeting.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, who's second?
I have Putney.
Okay. So we're not spending money, so we can just do a general, or should we take roll call?
That's your call.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. So that is what the employment subcommittee worked on. We'll be working on the other job descriptions in the next couple meetings that we're gonna have. So pillars, we have our organization committee. So who is on this committee? Danielle submitted this information. Are you on the committee too, John?
I am.
Okay, do you wanna
John
go?
and myself, yeah.
And you're on too, Marty, so do you guys wanna go over this?
Go ahead, John.
Organizational pillar did meet, had a couple highlighted points we wanted to discuss. And a lot of it had to do, obviously, with fundraising and securing funds for what we want to all achieve here. So there were a couple rough ideas put out for us all to look at and to discuss. Not getting super specific unless you guys have questions you want to talk about it, but we have something that we came up with, which is called the Downtown Dog Award, DAWG, for clarification. And again, it's simply a sponsorship that we would put out to the community, to Romeo businesses, that would give them the option to sponsor. Let me clarify here. Danielle put this together, so I'm kind of flying off the cuff here. Essentially donate funds, if donate's the right term, to the DDA and then they would receive in return different promotional opportunities. We haven't really finalized the amounts, but we'd have like a platinum, a gold, a silver, and so forth, this type of sponsorship programs that you've, I'm sure, seen elsewhere quite a bit. And then we would outline to them at the time what exactly they are sponsoring for, so that there's a set program, let's say, whether it's attracting a new business, whether it's a certain event coming up, or it could be something like beautification. So we want to do some extra beautification work around the district. And they could pick and choose and say, yeah, I'd like to help the beautification, for example, and donate $500, $5,000, whatever the different tiers are, which we would come up with. So it's just the beginning stages of what we're calling Downtown Dog Award, and we want to move forward with something like this. Again, this is just kind of for informational for you. You guys have in the packets how it is laid out now. We'd be interested in any input right now if there is, as far as specifics, but that's one sponsorship program, I guess, that we have discussed and that we want to put forward, and we will fine tune and then give to all of you guys for a vote. Did I kind of sum that up?
Can I ask you a
correctly?
question?
That's what it's for, yes.
We're still working out a lot of the details. It's not finalized.
So I thought that the dog award, the incubator program, I thought that was people have to apply to it with a business idea and how they might be successful, and then we would fund them to some extent to help them get off the ground.
It is.
So is that part
that's-
the dog award, and the other things, the grants and the volunteer base and stuff,
So
is that a
what-
separate thing?
What you said would be how we would then disseminate the funds.
How you would achieve those
People would
funds?
apply
I
for
see.
funds, but the first step is to secure the funds.
Okay,
So we would have the ability for different businesses or investment groups that want to give funds for a specific purpose. Now, once those funds have been secured, now you can apply to receive the dog award, which is exactly what you said. You've got a business idea, but you need a little startup money, you need help with your, an example was maybe it would help with your first 6 months or a year of rent, maybe for your building, for your whatever you want to use those funds for. That's what they would then apply for.
so that sounds great, but I'm just a little bit gray on, like, right here, it's talking about the incubator program, and then when you drop down here, it says beautification. Is that a separate thing? Because if you're gathering donations for the beautification, you'd be using them on the beautification, right? Or is a part of that gonna go to the incubator program?
These would be the different programs. Beautification would be one opportunity for somebody.
Oh, so it's 1, 2, 3?
At this moment, yes.
So somebody would be donating to 1 or 2 or 3 or any combination thereof. They're not all one big lump fund, right?
They're separate, it's way. I
Gotcha.
read it.
Okay, all right.
Separate, so one could be the dog award, which would be, you would apply for those funds as a business. An incoming business is sort of what our hope is, to help generate new businesses coming in.
Gotcha.
Event-specific sponsorship would be another that you could sponsor, at which time you would get some promotionals and name on flyers and websites and social media posts. Beautification is another, as you're reading there, another way to
Okay,
sponsor, correct?
Yep. And
Thank
these are
you.
all in process,
Yeah.
correct?
In
Yeah.
process.
yeah,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yeah, so look at the backup you have here and please give back feedback. Another discussion had to do with grants. We've talked about this before, looking into possibly somebody to assist with grant writing, whether it's we hire somebody or contract out grant writing. Danielle found this and she wanted just to make sure that it was pointed out. There's a Match on Main is what it's called, which is coming up starting January 2024. And there's a lot of money available there, so if we could figure out are we going to apply for this, this one particular grant, which is called Match on Main, is kind of our first goal out of the gate, to try to get somebody to help us write that out.
Great.
Who is that grant through?
That is the, Marty, do you remember, was that the county or the state? I'm sorry, I don't recall which.
I thought it was the county, if I remember, because we were looking at a couple of them. But let me,
I will confirm that.
Yeah.
right here, Match on Main. Support new expanding place, providing up to 25,000, yeah, communities are Michigan.
Can send it to us.
Yeah, I will, I'll
Okay.
send it to you.
The last point on this committee meeting had to do with volunteers. There is a volunteer base, it's a database that exists, and then there've been quite a few new ones actually that have recently raised their hand, so to speak, and we're just gonna make sure that we contact each of them and make sure they know when is our next promotional pillar meeting and invite them, as everyone's always invited to the pillar meetings, but as far as promotional goes, we're gonna actively seek them out, make sure they're aware of the date and time.
Perfect.
One question I would have that's sort of loosely related to this is, do we know where the list is of every business owner and building owner in the DDA? Because I know it was created, but I don't know where it is.
I haven't located it yet.
Okay.
But it's something that we
Is that something that the village has anyway, and we can start there and just
don't know.
update it if needed?
Anybody, I'd say the chamber.
Yeah, does a chamber, Kelly, do you know if you guys have that?
No, but
No.
I do know there was.
There was, so we just may have to dig deeper, there's a lot of boxes, so we'll just,
Okay,
if it's there, we just have to get our hands on it
Perfect.
and probably update it and, yeah.
put it on Drive, so we
Oh,
don't
sorry,
do it.
that's me.
Oh, is it
Have your phone turned off.
Okay, anything else from organization?
No.
Sent you that.
All right.
Before I
So next
forget.
pillar meeting, or pillar report is from promotions. So that is Deborah, Marty, and myself. We met. We divided up kind of the 6 counties, Macomb, Oakland, St. Clair, Lapeer, Wayne, and Genesee. We each took 2 counties that were creating full contacts for anywhere we could possibly send a press release to, so that we can have that ready to go with any social media and press releases we want to send out. We are looking to hold a town hall meeting for the business community, local clubs, organizations, to meet and discuss Q4 promotions and marketing. We're thinking, well, it says August 10th, 17th, or 24th. The 10th's not going to happen, but perhaps the 24th, where we could kind of have everyone come together, tell us what they're doing for the quarter four, specifically fall, then we can start creating promotional material and making sure it's getting out there. We have reviewed the steps to create a social district, which I know is further down here on the agenda, which we'll talk about.
Before you go on to another topic, I am out of town on the 24th. Did you have any other alternate dates?
We could do the following Thursday. Thursdays, I'm out of town except for Thursday evening, so Mondays and Thursdays. So we can.
You know what, I'll get back with you when this is a solid date, because it might move one way or the other.
Yeah, and
And that
can,
would
if we
work out.
can solidify a date this week.
Okay.
Then we can also, I was gonna use our ad in the record to promote this, to get it to kind of as many people, residents, anyone who wants to come and just kind of talk about quarter four promotions.
Yep.
Social district, which is also here under new business, which we'll talk about. And then we also discussed writing a letter to the village council and to the planning and zoning commission, showing the DDA support for ordinance 46-312 permitted uses, to just show the village council and the planning and zoning commission that we support that ordinance, and we would like it to just kind of be refreshed with everybody.
And that's for
Permitted uses.
permitted uses
Main
on the
and
first level?
First level Main Street.
Okay.
So that is what the promotions committee did.
So I have a question for you on the press releases. I found a handful of free places to send press releases. I found a lot of pay-to-play kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were free seem like they're good sources. I didn't include any of the ones where we have to pay because I thought that the homework assignment was free, right?
Correct, yeah, so
Okay.
newspapers, radio,
I
that sort of thing.
I emailed them to you.
Yeah,
So, okay,
perfect.
perfect, all right.
All right. So that is what the promotions committee is working on. And then we have design.
All right. So I have down here that we got together, we had a meeting, we had a very short clipped discussion about social district. I know we're in the very early stages of even talking about that. I have been watching the news about Plymouth, Michigan, and the mess that they're going through right now, and I would like to have a better understanding of that, so I'm gonna dig into that and find out why they're jumping it from, I'm not even sure why they charge per foot for people who wanna have a business in the social district. And I think it encompasses all outdoor dining. It used to be like $1.50 a foot, and now they're making it $15 a foot, and a bunch of the businesses are going crazy. And I got the impression that they were saying they needed that money to meet some ADA compliance thing, but I'm not really clear. So I think it's something that we should dig into as a committee and figure out what that is. And then we discussed in more detail getting the RFP out for a very high-level concept of what I'm going to call it the marketplace alley, because I think that's what people call it. As far as getting a high-level concept design of what that would look like if it became a public space, whether it's a farmer's market or it's just a paved throughway with gardens or whatever. I have the RFP done, but I want to sit on it for a few days and see if anything percolates up that might have gotten forgotten. The Christmas decor RFP was released. The deadline is August 10th. I checked to make sure that it was on BidNet. It is. As far as I know, I don't have access to it. So as far as I know, we haven't had a formal response to that yet. So I'm going to reach out to a couple of the people that I thought were interested, Jessica, and I can't remember who the other third party was, and I think Vans Valley. So I'll reach out to those folks and see if they're doing it and just didn't know that the deadline was August 10th or whatever. And can I do that? Like, if they want more time than August 10th, then I update the RFP?
How does that work? Or do we have to set up a new RFP?
I know that you can extend it, but
Oh, I can extend the one
I
that's
would
there?
think at this point, if you don't do it now, you're going to be waiting till the next meeting.
You mean extend the deadline tonight?
Yeah, I would give permission now to extend it.
So you want to make a motion now to
Yeah,
extend it?
that way it's taken care of and it's not just
Okay,
out there.
all right, well then I'd like to make a motion to extend it to August 17th, to give it 7 more days.
Okay,
Support.
okay, all in favor?
August 17th.
And then you do have to, obviously you will, but go on and update on that in all of those spots as like a note that it's been updated and it is extended.
Okay,
Sorry, who supported that?
Megan. So all in favor, unless there's any discussion?
aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
I thought there might be some discussion, but apparently not.
Opposed? None, all right, so we're going to extend to the 17th.
Okay. And I don't know if Greg submitted an RFP for the staked survey because he wasn't at the meeting and he's not here, so I'll just have to send him an email or something. And one other thing that I'm looking for the design committee is I understood that there were some parking studies done in the past, but I think that the newest one is at least a decade old, but I don't really know if it was done by the village or by the DDA. Does anyone know?
I think they've been done by the village, but it has been a while.
Has it been like a decade?
No, I believe DDA did one more recent, or updated one at least more recently.
Oh, really? Like
Yes.
in 5 years or less?
Yes.
Oh, so it's probably
So
pretty close.
it's gonna be in one of our packets, we can dig back.
Would you mind? That would be great. Thank you.
Anything else, Deborah, from design?
I didn't know if and now is the time for me to ask for the money that I'm looking for.
Nope, it's under new business.
Oh, sorry, then never mind. I guess I'm done.
All righty, so economic vitality, that was Danielle, Greg, and myself. Greg was not present. But what we discussed was creating some monthly workshops for local businesses, focused on marketing, social media, accounting, taxes, so maybe getting some specialists to come in and hold some meetings for our business owners. We also discussed business virtual Main Street platform where businesses can load specials and promotions. We've talked about doing downtown dollars or some Romeo gift cards. So we're trying to figure out how that would work as far as where would someone purchase gift cards and how they would be loaded, but it would be something that would be no cost to the merchants. They would just accept it, turn in whatever gift cards and then the DDA would reimburse them. So we're hoping to possibly kick that off during the Art and Wine Walk, is maybe be able to promote it there. And then we're also thinking of doing downtown dollars with some promotions in town where for every amount of money spent, shoppers can earn downtown dollars towards future purchases. So just to kind of encourage spending within the district. And then we talked about what we used to do a long, long time ago is like a midnight madness on December 23rd. All the stores would stay open till midnight and have specials and kind of like a fire sale. You want to get rid of all your stuff that hasn't sold for the holidays. So we're thinking about promoting that with the merchants. And then we also just talked about the incubator program and working with the with the organization pillar to make sure that that gets launched. So that's what the economic pillar talked about this month. All right, any questions?
What day is that on? Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick.
All right.
23rd would be a Saturday.
Is it a Saturday? Oh, yeah, it's because
Saturday.
Christmas is on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so unfinished business, holiday lighting, and RFPs, which I think we kind of just discussed.
Yeah, extending it a week.
Okay. Concert series is, let me see if I have any notes on that one. Concert series is going well. We unfortunately had a couple rain dates, but we were able to reschedule them for kind of the end of the season. But so far, so good. Everything's going really well. We've had a couple concerns about sound system, but we've shared that with the the players and, with that organization to hopefully be able to get those addressed. But so far, so good. We've had about 70 people at the last concert, and it's definitely catching on.
I have a question about the concerts. I
Mhm.
had a handful of people in the audience ask me where they're supposed to go to use the bathroom. What am I supposed to say? We don't have any? You'll
We
have
don't
to
have
hold
any.
it?
We don't have any. There was a potential discussion, and we can revisit it, with the Masons had allowed us, some discounted pricing to use, to have the Masonic Temple open. We can talk with them again and see if that's still an option out there.
Maybe you have to make a donation to the Masons to go in and
to
use the
give
bathroom?
$1 for the use of the bathroom. So we can look into that before, I'll definitely make the phone call and see if they're still
Yeah.
open to it.
I mean, I got another one Wednesday, and I'm just like, I don't know what to tell people. I
Yeah.
mean, is your place open, and I'll just tell them you have to buy something if you want to use the restroom, or, like, what do you guys want me to say on Wednesday? So,
I mean, we don't
just
have
something to
public
think about.
restrooms, but yes. I will call and see if the Masons are willing to work with us on that.
Great question, great point. I can speak for myself as far as my business. No public restrooms, as you'll see signs all around the village. It is definitely a continual problem.
But if I tell people they can use your restroom, but they have to buy something, are you okay with that, or
I
you
have-
don't want people sent to you?
I have restrooms for customers, yes.
Okay, all right.
No.
That's what I was thinking is my solution for now. And
Well, yeah, I mean, and you can speak to the other businesses around there. I think we've all.
I think everyone has
ourselves have had our
restrooms for
discussions.
customers.
Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to have restrooms for customers, and I guess that's all I can say about it. I mean,
Okay, that's exactly how I'll state it. Thank you.
The Masons were willing for $85
Mm-hmm.
each night.
Yeah, so I will reach out to them and see if that offer is still on the table. I know that they were willing to work with us, we just couldn't get someone to actually open it, of the rate, we were trying to use them as a rain date to actually move the concert inside. And it just didn't work out that one time, but,
Yeah, that would
they
be,
were more than
that'd be great.
willing to work with us, so I will call them, tomorrow and find out.
Yes, because at this point, I don't know if this Wednesday would work. They would need to be able to have someone available.
Yeah, they've gotta- we gotta
and
give
with
them
a
a little
day's
bit of
notice, it
Sure.
might be a week out.
Yeah. But I'll
Do we
make
need
the
to make a
call.
motion to spend the money if they're available this Wednesday? Do we have to do that now?
Well, it would be coming out of our, yeah, might as well make a motion to
Approve up to,
$85 a week.
okay, I make a motion to provide $85 a week for hiring a bathroom somewhere for people who go to the concerts.
With the Masonic or anyone? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
I don't know anybody
We'll
who
start
would
there.
want to do it besides Masonic, but,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
because at that point, if you were really focused on this Wednesday, you could call and see what kind of porta potties available by Wednesday.
Mhm.
Right.
I just think with all the construction, it would really stink to have to keep
How much
pulling in
do
a
those
porta
cost?
potty and sending it out and, you know,
Anybody know how much those are?
I have no idea.
Offhand, I don't know.
I'm sure it's more than $85 for the Masons Hall, for sure, so.
I'll call Little John's and find out, and then I'll call the Masons.
Oh, I saw something in here for Little John's.
Yeah, but it covered like 4 of them.
Yeah.
So you'd have to
that's
break it
true,
down.
Oh, yeah, so you'd have to break it out. Okay.
Okay, so
Is
there's
it-
a motion. Is there a second?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah, motion by, second
Marty,
by Hutnick.
yep.
You want a roll call for $85 for bathrooms?
John, let's just give you $85 and then I'll.
No, thanks, right?
San Laurent,
Yes.
McLeod,
Yes.
Hutnick,
Yes.
Poznanski.
Yes.
Rose is a no, 4-1, motion passes.
Why no? May I ask? Can we have discussion, or is it too late?
It's too late.
Oh, man.
Okay. Policy and procedure review. So last month, we went through the policies and procedures that the village uses. I don't know if anyone has had a chance to take a look at those or make any suggestions or comments on it.
I have not gone through it. I was very busy with accounting and Julie.
Anyone
No
else?
comments here at the moment.
Okay. So are we ready to adopt, or we want to hold off for another month and table it?
I'd like to table it.
Okay.
I'd like to table it, yeah.
Okay, so we'll table that. Marketing RFP has been completed. I'm going to be bringing it to Catherine, hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday, so we can get that posted. It was more work than I thought it was, so it took me a little bit of time, but we got it together. So that will be out, and hopefully we'll have some proposals to review at the next meeting. Sound system is, we're having the consultation about re-putting the sound system in the downtown area. We're trying to solidify a date. It's either gonna be next Tuesday morning or next Thursday evening being 4 or 5 o'clock. So we're trying to schedule that out. They're based out of Waterford, so we're just trying to coordinate when they're gonna be on this side of town to be able to come in. But it'll be sometime next week. And then based on that, I'll be able to bring some quotes to the board. All right, next one is Vintage Fest. Danielle Lee submitted a report. So I'm gonna read her Vintage Fest report. I want to start by thanking the many volunteers and sponsors who came forward to help organize Vintage Fest 2023. While the weather was not on our side this year, we appreciate the help, support, and contributions. We had 50 cars registered this year and a lot of enthusiasm to come next year. 5 winners went home with a beautifully engraved wood plaque created by Jill Harrison, who had pieces at MJC Marketplace. Thank you to the Romeo Dairy Queen for fully funding these beautiful awards. Thank you to Will Morgan from the Romeo Masons for volunteering to judge the cars again this year. New this year was Vintage Tractor Group, who are also excited to join us again next year. The kids really loved the cool old tractors. The musicians who played on the main stage had a great time and are eager to participate in future events. The Monarch Watch program in the Village Park and the Bounce House were a big hit with the little ones. I'd also like to thank Romeo Peach Court for visiting and taking pictures with guests, as well as Macomb Executive Mark Hackle and Village President Megan Poznansky for helping hand out car show awards. We really enjoyed the North Macomb Regional Chamber of Commerce concert with Jukebox Junkies refreshment tent, so thank you again for putting that on this year. Breakdown of our finances, our initial budget was $6,000. Total expenditures, $5,979.40. We received $2,055 in donations, so the DDA spent $3,924.40. Our contributing sponsors, Romeo Dairy Queen, Romeo Dispo, and Earl's Batteries. And then this is just a listing of all of our invoice or bills, which are listed here. And then just some information regarding, we'd like to look at options to coordinate this event with another event already happening in the village. I feel using this budgeted $6,000 on a one-day event is a big spend, especially when weather is such a huge factor. If we were able to add this to the garage sale or sidewalk sale weekend, we may be able to build on an already successful event when people are in town. We heard from the many vintage car owners that they prefer a Sunday show, so this may be another good reason to add it onto a garage sale weekend and have the car show on Sunday. We have had many great suggestions from businesses and visitors for next year, but we'd love to hear from everyone about their experience or thoughts. You can email Danielle or Andrea or call us at the DDA office. So,
Now, is she suggesting that the car show would be there for more than one day?
no, just that we would put the event, like if village-wide garage sales are on Saturday, we would do our event on Sunday to make it more of like a weekend event. in
Okay,
town.
gotcha.
Okay, so that brings us to new business. So we have 2 funding requests. I couldn't get this one to print, but I have it here. We have a funding request from the North Macomb Regional Chamber of Commerce for $800 to assist with the Main Street Stroll of Merchants featuring local artists and wine tasting at the annual Art and Wine Walk. So they're requesting a donation of $800 from the DDA. I don't know if Kelly, if you have any input or anything else you want to bring up about it?
And that's a mouthful to say now.
It was a lot.
The Northern
Got it all out,
Macomb
though.
Regional Chamber, for those of you that don't know, we expanded over into Lenox and Richmond. So we changed our name, but after 18 years of spilling out the Greater Romeo Washington Chamber, this is a big change. You guys have been a partner with us since the inception of this event. So this is our 8th year. I'm coming to you guys to see if you want to partner with us again. The $800 helps us with the printing of the passports. We do raffle baskets. And of course, the chamber gets hit up for about 40 bottles of wine. Danielle had a great suggestion during Vintage Fest that perhaps instead of them having to come to the chamber, we spread those passports around town, but then they do have to come back for the raffle at the end of the night.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So therefore, I wouldn't be hit up with such a huge cost factor for wine. So I'm just asking that you guys be our partner again on this event, and I'm looking for the $800.
Okay.
And that Match on Main is an MEDC program, and it's
Oh.
only good for, community-ready communities and then Main Street communities.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep,
Perfect.
Is 800 what we have done in years past?
yes.
So it's an overall sponsorship. We're not sponsoring one specific thing. It's just partnering with the overall.
Right.
event.
You guys are advertised as co-sponsors of the event.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll just simply say great event. Thank you.
Mhm.
Obviously been involved in it the last few years, so
My only question is, I don't think we had it in the event's budget. Is it okay if we do a set aside of $800?
So we still have we still have money in our event budget.
Okay.
Yep, because
So-
we're well under budget for,
So even though we
Vintage
didn't
Fest.
like call this one out specifically, okay,
yeah, we haven't
Well-
called out really anything specifically. It's just overall event budget.
okay.
Um,
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we would want to participate and do the $800.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No, we just appreciate the chamber always supporting our events and along with us, so it's nice to be able to return that.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
When is this
Oc-
wine thing?
It's Friday, October 13th.
So this is in conjunction with the Starkweather and the Hungry Bowls? Is that the same night?
They've always partnered with us on
Okay.
it, so they're part of the sponsorships in the passport also.
Yeah. It's a
I'm-
great event. I love
They
it.
raise a lot of money for the, what is it, Hunger Bowls? Yeah,
Yeah,
Hunger
yep.
Bowls. So they spend their entire summer in the pottery
I've been
with the
there.
people,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
People
Village-
working on those bowls.
The Village Hall is going over this week to make our bowls.
Oh, are you? Oh, fun.
It's empty bowls.
Thank you. I knew it was something like,
Sounded like Hunger Games when you said.
I know this, wow.
maybe that's a new event for Main Street.
All right, so we'll do roll call because we're spending.
Okay, San Laurent,
Yes.
McLeod,
Yes.
Hutnick,
Yes.
Poznanski,
Yes.
Rose is yes, 5-0.
Okay, thank you, guys. So Starkweather also helps us get those artists, but if you know of artists that might want to be involved, pass them my way, because that's always the hard get.
Okay.
Everybody wants to come drink wine, but we
Yeah.
got to make sure we got an artist in these
No one wants to be
locations.
painting, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. All right, funding request number 2, Deborah?
Yeah, I would like to ask for $900 to have Vans Valley spray for all the weeds in the DDA area only. And because that'll take a couple weeks for those to die off, and then they will need to come back and dig up all the weeds and haul it all away and clean up the sidewalks and stuff like that. We'd like to have all this done before Peach Fest. So since it takes a couple of weeks to die off and to be sprayed and to be cleaned up and all that, I'd like to ask for that tonight. And then I will make a point of it to follow up with the village and see if they would contribute back to us, maybe $400 of the $900, but we kind of need to move forward because of timing. So I'd like to ask the board for $900 for weed control, weed removal.
Okay, so there's a motion for the request. Are you making a motion to request? the money?
I make a motion for $900 to spray all the weeds within the DDA district,
Okay. Is
and the
there-
removal, and the pulling out, and everything.
Do we have, well, is there a second?
I'll second. I do want to ask, is this line item different than what is now J on the agenda, parking lot cleanup? Are we talking about the same thing here? Just to
don't know.
clarify?
Where's Jay?
Well, it's.
Yeah, it's right behind social district.
It's actually, it's the last one under new business. It's H there, because that's, but we
Oh.
changed it.
I understand. I don't know,
I just
because I
wanted-
don't know who put that on
Yeah, I
there.
would think that was different.
Is parking lot cleanup like the infrastructure of it?
I didn't put that on the agenda. I don't know.
We'll have to find out who
That's the-
contributed
that's
that,
the
I don't
same thing.
know.
So we just have that funding request is actually for J, what is now J on the agenda, parking lot cleanup, just for
Okay.
clarification here,
Got it.
okay?
Well, it was sidewalks and the curbs and the parking lots. I mean, it's anywhere that there's weeds in the DDA. So I just want to clarify that. Then
So
do we have a maintenance budget?
No. But do we have, is this in writing of what grounds this is, what area this is covering? I mean, is any of this in,
I clarified it, but I can have it put in writing, no problem.
I can speak up.
Because I showed a
to-
map of the DDA and said, everywhere here, and the answer was yes, and probably a little bit extended past that if it's, visible right there when you're standing there, but for sure, all of the DDA boundary.
So my input would be, as far as the location to your question, would be certainly when it says parking lot, the area around the parking lot, it's actually behind Four Corners, that whole area,
The Bailey Street
Bailey
parking lot,
Street
yeah.
parking lot.
so not all the parking
Is,
lots?
well, I'm just saying, that's one to
I
highlight.
say, well, Bailey is
In
being, the village is taking care of Bailey, and it is going to be completely redone by Peach Fest. I don't know
Yeah, they were out there
that date,
today.
but, yeah.
Ron
Because it's on the other side of Bailey, it belongs to the village, right?
Well,
Instead
no,
of
it just
us.
belongs to us. I mean, it just,
It's all in the village.
Well,
regardless,
yes,
yeah.
I mean, it's not in our boundary, right? The Bailey parking lot on the other side of the street. It's not in the DDA boundary, just the
now you're
parking lot
making
where
me
Marty
think.
is.
I don't,
It's DDA.
The car wash
It
is.
it is
Yeah.
DDA, but are you saying the village is going to work on that, but not by Peach Fest?
I don't know the timeline.
Okay.
We
well,
had them out there to control the weeds today, obviously.
Mhm.
Met with them last week to go over a few different things around town.
Oh.
It's going to be completely redone. I don't know if it will be completely redone by Peach Fest. I told them they either needed to do it before or after. They couldn't be
In process.
taking away that parking lot during the very busy time.
You mean they're actually repaving it?
All of that landscape will be redone,
Oh.
and there will be maintenance to the, yes, to the
Okay,
parking
so
lot.
I need to subtract that from the contract. That parking lot and anything else that I need to take out of it?
Maybe residential homes,
Pardon?
maybe residential homes
Yeah.
that fall in the DDA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we need to have a
You mean just the
clear-
specifics, you mean? No, the way it's
We-
written up?
Yeah, specifically, what are we cleaning up? Because there are residential homes that we're
Yeah.
not gonna do cleanup for.
Okay. Generally, how does that work in the village? If you own a home, are you responsible for the public sidewalk piece in front of your home to have no weeds in it? Is that how that works?
believe so.
Just like snow
Yeah, it's just like
removal
it's your
and,
easement.
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, I've always lived in the country, so I didn't have to worry about it. Okay.
Yeah, I think though, well, we have a
I can
motion
get
and a
that.
second, but I.
Well,
it's
it'll
just-
be less than that now if I remove some of these things and I'll make it more specific?
But I don't know that we're able, I mean, I don't know if I'm able to vote on it right now if we don't know what it's covering.
Understood completely. I just will point out the time frame. If there's anything we want to do to spruce up and make it look any better, we need to know now before, as far as before Peach Fest. Even if that parking lot's going to be worked on, if our concern is the visual for Peach Fest, now's the time for us to try to throw something at it. That's the only argument I guess I would make.
But I also think $900, if that's a one-shot deal. I mean, that's no,
It's not a
those
maintenance.
weeds are gonna be back
Yeah, it's
within-
not a maintenance contract.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's something we need to look at next year, is once a month or once every 2 months. I don't know how
Mhm.
often it comes back up and gets crazy like it is, but I know where Marty is, I cleaned all around that electrical enclosure. When was that? When you had your TV?
Yeah, it was in June.
Yeah,
And it is back with a vengeance.
It
Well, that's
is,
what
and
I'm
I
s-
can't get down there right now and pull those weeds because of my back.
Yep.
But it
Yeah.
looks horrible.
And how long do you think that's been up? Like a month they've been back?
month.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
5 weeks.
so I mean, we're gonna, the motion's to spend $900, and within a month, we'll probably be right back to where we're at. That's my concern. It's a lot of money for a one-time
well,
thing.
those weren't sprayed, I just pulled them. And so that's kind of like pruning them.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I didn't spray them because I thought they would just come out and stay out, but I definitely just made them grow better.
Now, who maintains that little electrical box area?
That's
Whose
kind of
is that?
how we have Mr. Hop walking around. That's kind of maintenance.
Hmm.
No, that was that kind of stuff. In general, we would get flower beds mulched and weeds attended to. The DDA would contract it. There were a few years that the director at that time was able to find a local contractor who donated. I don't recall if he did all or half or whatever, and he was able to put his name on it and advertise that he helped with the cleanup there and took care of that for a year or two, but that fell off. So that, I mean, it's a great cost sharing. You guys set aside $30,000 in your budget to cost share with the village on things. This would be something that would fall into that.
I would think that does belong to the village because the parking lot.
Yeah, I guess what I could do is change my motion to say not to exceed 900, and then I think when we pare out that parking lot and some other places that you guys don't think needs attention, it would be less. If
But
you
how-
want me to restate it.
But are we gonna have another, we're not gonna meet again before Peach Festival to be able to review anything?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, so I can't make this motion and then use less?
Well, you could if the motion passes. Yeah, you know, I mean, if that's what
Right.
everyone wants to do.
Right.
To me, $900 when we don't know exactly what we're getting done is a lot for me to vote yes for, because we don't even know what scope it's covering, and what the length of time it's gonna last, you know, that makes me nervous to vote yes on that. And if there even is a request to the village, it's a request, like they haven't agreed to partner with us at this point.
My other suggestion would be, get the map of everything, get it down. Council has enough time to put it on our agenda. That's an amount that we could cover. And if you come to us with the cost share of what you're proposing right now, propose it the other way around.
And when is your next meeting?
Ours isn't for a couple more weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
Sorry. The 21st, which is close, but what I'm saying is that's an amount that the clerk could cover and sign off on, and then you could come in at that meeting with a cost share.
I don't think that the weeds would die by then, so we probably just have to skip it. Because it takes like a week for the weeds to die, and like, by the time he gets out there, sprays it all, then it all dies. Well, I don't know, maybe that would make it September, so your meeting is August 7th,
21st.
21st?
But what I'm saying is $900 is an allowable amount, should the clerk sign off on it, could get done, put into motion right now.
Oh,
And then you come to the meeting and you propose, and the DDA matches, we go half or whatever.
okay. I don't know how to propose that motion, but it sounds great.
I
You
wouldn't-
make the motion, I'll
I wouldn't
second it.
propose anything, I would call the clerk tomorrow and propose the idea to the clerk.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
You would have to approve it at your next meeting to cost share with us in an amount, or you could do that right now. I would say you would wait a meeting.
Okay, so are you gonna call her tomorrow, Deborah?
Sure.
Okay.
So I need either vote on this motion or withdraw?
I guess I'm withdrawing it. That sounded really confident.
Can we table it?
But you would still need to get that detail of what you're asking for.
Yeah, I'll have them mark up like I did for the RFP for the decorations, take that DDA footprint and mark it up.
Yeah, mark off anything that's not being covered, so we
Yeah.
know what is, yeah.
Okay, so we withdrew the motion?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So moving on to new business, our executive director typically holds the position of FOIA coordinator. Since that position is not filled now, we do need to name a FOIA coordinator. Our attorneys have also suggested that we update our FOIA, not update, upload our FOIA records onto the DDA website. So if anyone is interested in taking on that role, they suggested it potentially be the secretary.
I can tell you for sure it won't be the treasurer. I'm up to here with counting right now.
Yeah, they suggested it be an officer in the secretary, but that's,
Can we vote for Greg since he's not here to defend himself?
Do you have a motion then?
well, I do. It says to have fill in the blank, act as
Oh.
FOIA coordinator for the DDA, to adopt the FOIA forms as presented by the DDA attorneys and have forms uploaded to our website.
Okay, I didn't hear salary.
It's a volunteer position.
Go ahead. Somebody's gotta do it.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I mean, I can just have that be with it first, for the first couple times, I mean.
I mean, it's up to you guys.
I've already got 4 other
Oh,
roles.
yeah,
I can't do
I've never
anymore.
done that before, so.
Yeah, why don't we make it, I think secretary makes the most sense as far as having
Yeah,
records and so forth
I
at
agree.
this point. And then we'll-
Yeah. Okay. So my motion is to have John Rose act as FOIA coordinator for the DDA, to adopt the FOIA forms as presented by the DDA attorney and have forms uploaded to our website.
I'll second.
yeah, I'll suck it.
Okay.
That was your motion?
That was my motion.
Andrew, you made the motion?
Mhm.
And second was, I heard two.
Me or Marty, either one.
Don't matter.
Okay.
I just make a simple recommendation that you actually just list a title such as secretary versus a name, so if your secretary changes, it's not connected to the person.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to adjust my motion to say the secretary will act as the FOIA coordinator.
I would also put in the absence of a director, and that way when there is a director, then it reverts back.
I'll change my motion to say, in the absence of a director, the secretary will act as the FOIA coordinator for the DDA.
I second that motion.
Perfect.
You need a all in or roll call, what do you like?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next one is office access. So right now, Danielle and I currently have office access, but we are getting some good use out of the office space. So we would like to extend that, and I'd like to make a motion to provide DDA office access to all board officers and employees when we have them.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Do I need any separate access to be able to get into accounting files?
No.
Okay. No discussion,
No
I guess.
discussion? Okay.
I would only ask that, going back to how you had asked with policy and procedure, that maybe something's added into that. I mean, we are all adults and we do hope that we act accordingly, but maybe a few sentences on, to address that, holding your key, it's important, should you lose it, what's the first step that you would do, who you would report to. You don't have access just to go in when, you know.
It's for
Yes.
work-related purposes.
It may be just
Yeah,
something in there.
yeah, we can definitely create some,
It's not for personal
Wording.
use. Yeah, all that.
yeah. Okay, I can do that, and hopefully we'll be talking policy procedure next month anyway, so we can bring that back. All right, any other discussion on office access?
Nope.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion passes. DDA Board Workshop, John? This was your item.
Oh, thank you. We had a workshop, sorry, I don't know what month that was, a few months ago, I guess, at this point. And there was a lot of good information there, and I think it's time that we essentially have another one. So I just want to, as far as an update from that workshop that we had, this is kind of where this whole pillar subcommittees were formed and were suggested, and we've now implemented, and we're slowly but surely having meetings and hopefully making some progress there. So now I would like to reconvene and call another workshop. And we would certainly invite the parties that assisted the first time. And that's really my whole point, is just to tell you this is something that I'd like to see happen sooner than later. We're all gonna have to coordinate calendars. We're gonna have to start with the people that helped coordinate that the first time to find out their calendars, and then we'll try to merge them with all of ours. I think that was kind of my point that I wanted to make, to bring that to light.
Are you gonna send out an email to kick it off?
Sure, I'll head that up.
Okay. Any other discussion on board workshop? Okay, next item was business cards. Danielle and I kind of came up with that, as we've been going around to businesses and just talking with different people, we really don't have anything to kind of hand out. So we wanted to just get some business cards made. I made a motion, if, in the event that all board members wanted or needed them, they're normally like $25 for 200, which I think is more than enough for what we need. But just in working with Vintage Fest, we didn't really have anything as we were trying to talk to people. So we're writing down our email addresses, writing down phone numbers. So just a little more polished and professional to have a card. So I wanted to make a motion to provide the DDA board business cards, DDA board members business cards. If everyone on the board wanted to have them, it wouldn't exceed $200, and that would come out of office expenses.
I'll second that. It's a great idea.
Any discussion?
Would it make sense to have a general business card instead of individual cards?
We could do that.
So, I mean,
Then you just write your name on it and be good to go.
I would be more comfortable with that. I mean,
Yeah.
I certainly don't need personal business cards myself.
No, that's
so-
even better, because we
So
don't
if-
need to have a ton of
So if
different
somebody
ones.
wants to follow up with you, then they would call the
Well, that's the only
the
thing,
phone
is it would
number?
have just a general email address.
Then you
on it.
gotta, right.
We would have the general email and the general phone number. And
So
if
then-
you wanted to yourself write your own on there,
Well, that's what
And
we're
say-
trying to avoid, though.
well,
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's what we're trying to avoid is, because if it goes to the general email address, then I'm still disseminating it to everybody, phone calls and everything.
Right, but if you write your email on the back, you use the flip side, you do a different mat to it. We could write notes on it.
Yeah, get them
you know,
dull on
could
both
have-
sides.
You
Yeah,
could have
for sure.
some stickers, I don't know, it's not as professional.
So. All right, so that's what's out there. I mean, I don't know, do you want me to change the motion to make one general business card? My only concern is it literally just defeats what we wanted them for, because we're still, you know, writing their name on it, writing, you know, they're $25 for about 200 of them.
Mhm.
Oh, it's $25 for 200 of them? I don't know, I got it in my head, it was $200. $25 is not enough to make it worth it to have to write on them all the time.
I would think at least you and Danielle, chair and vice chair, heading up a lot of the stuff and being the point person.
I ran into a problem with the checks, trying to pick up the checks from FedEx because I had nothing to prove I was on the DDA. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that a business card would have worked, but that was just an interesting problem that I wasn't expecting. I mean, if it's $25 for everybody to have
No,
some?
no, no, it would be $25 per
Each person?
persons, yeah, that would be
Oh,
if
I
everyone on
see.
the board needed, or you just do officers, or you don't do anything, or we just do one business card, and, I mean, the whole idea is to not be doing that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if we're gonna just be writing our stuff, our information on it, then we might as well just go with kind of what we're doing, which is a
Right.
piece of paper, and here's my info.
Do we need to think about it till next meeting, or, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, who wants business cards? You and
Well,
Danielle?
Danielle and I were-
And you mentioned you?
Well, when I was at Vintage Fest, a lot of people were asking me for information for next year, and I had nothing to write on.
Yeah, exactly, I mean, people are asking, like, you know, how can I get a hold of you, and it's,
I was handing them my business cards, and they're like, what does this have to do?
Does anyone else need them? Anybody else want them? Okay, so how about $75 for
that works.
Andrea, Danielle, and Deborah?
Okay,
Does that work?
yeah,
All right, so I will make my motion to not exceed $75.
I second.
Do a roll call?
McLeod,
Yes.
St. Laurent,
Yes.
Putnick,
Yes.
Poznanski,
Yes.
Rose, yes, 5-0.
Okay, next item is town hall meeting, so, I don't know if we want to pick a date today. We could do the last Monday of the month, that's not any village meetings, is it?
No. No, our other ones are on Thursdays.
Okay. So is everyone okay if we do August 28th?
Can you clarify what is the town hall meeting?
Town hall
Who's
meeting-
the meeting for?
Well, everybody within the DDA district, so we're gonna invite businesses, building owners, I mean, any residents that would obviously like to come, clubs, organizations, so we can gather what is going on for Q4, so that we can provide all the information to everybody, and everyone is able to,
My only hesitation is that's the week leading up to Peach Fest, and people are gonna be crazy
Mhm.
busy
That's true.
preparing
Yeah.
to take, I know it's not a lot, but
yeah, no, but I mean,
they're-
it's hard to get everyone
Mhm.
together.
Maybe the
Um,
week after?
That's a tough week.
Well, that's Labor Day then.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought Peach Fest was the weekend of Labor Day.
Yeah, so that following Monday is Labor Day,
Oh, I'm sorry, I mean the next week, after
September
Peach Fest.
11th?
September
I was
11th.
gonna say, when is our meeting? And you
It's
could
our
just
meeting.
have it before, like we've done with the informational?
So our meeting would be the 11th.
You want to do like 6 o'clock?
Wanna
before
do
our
that?
meeting?
Can do that.
Does that make sense?
That'd be helpful.
We have it in this hall then?
Yeah, I can call and confirm it, and then we can make that, we can promote it through our advertisement on the record. So we can do from 6 to 7, and then our meeting starts at 7.
6 to 6:45, and gives you time to, unless you just want to go right into it.
Okay, so we're looking at September 11th.
Right?
And we're going to make an effort to make sure everybody interested is aware.
Yep, we're gonna send out a mailer,
Fine.
we're gonna post it in the newspaper, we'll send out a mailer. I'm gonna ask Kelly to please help us promote it with the chamber members, and
Okay.
if you would. Yep. Okay. Next item is the phone. Danielle gave me a report here. So we had a lot of issues getting our phone. So we were able to acquire a Nokia phone for $100 and a consumer cellular phone plan for $25 a month. This allowed us to transfer the existing DDA phone number to a plan that is solely used by the DDA. This was the only option available as we could not enter into a long-term contract without board approval. The existing phone number was previously associated with a personal cell phone account, and the only way to transfer it was to go onto a month-to-month plan. Because the phone was attached to some of our accounting and two-step authentication processes, we couldn't wait to move forward. So as we were trying to get into QuickBooks, everything was going to that phone number, which was associated with the previous executive director's cell phone. So we did get the Nokia cell phone. We have the month-to-month plan. We have a cell phone. Currently, Danielle and I are having custody of the phone, and we're kind of working it together. Once we, have office hours, the DDA cell phone can be left in the office. Right now, board members are monitoring it. Since we've gotten the phone switched over on July 24th, we've only had 3 phone calls, and 2 of those were spam solicitors. So there's not a whole lot of activity on the DDA phone. So we have 3 options. One is to keep this program we have going, and enroll in an automatic bill pay, which would bring us down to $20 per month. We can still cancel at any time. We could set up a direct office, like a landline phone, to the DDA office, or we can set up a cell phone plan, which would be a 3-year commitment with like Verizon or one of those. So we're asking, Danielle and I are asking the board to decide which option they want to go with.
I'd like to make a motion to, at this moment, stick with the $20, or set up a $20 per month auto bill pay. It is to keep the current new cell phone that exists.
Okay,
I'll second that.
It,
Oh, you're not
is
done?
no, I'm done. Now discussion of, this is the least expensive option at this time, and it's the
absolutely,
least
and it
permanent.
works.
And when the day comes, we want it to make it more permanent, we will. And
Mhm.
enter a contract, we can.
Okay, so motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Well,
All right,
Are you gonna tell them to be quiet back there?
you want roll?
yep, roll.
St. Cloud?
Do we answer together, St. Cloud?
St. Cloud?
1, 2, 3, go.
Yes.
Thank you.
San Laurent?
Yeah.
McLeod?
Yes.
Yes.
Hutnick?
Yes.
Poznanski?
Yes.
Rose, yes?
Motion passes. All right, so the next item is social district. It's been talked about in a lot of different pillars, the social district. I've reached out to Lapeer and Port Huron, and spoke with their DDA employees and chair people about what it all took for them to get to having a social district. Lapeer was great. They gave me a ton of information. They sent me their exact wording that they brought to their city council. He's like, this is what they passed, and just really, really helpful on what the entire program is. So it's not something that happens overnight. It's definitely a process. So what I would like to do is I wanted to create a committee to review the steps and explore creation of the social district. I would like to have 2 to 3 DDA board members, at least 1 restaurant that has a liquor license within the district. I'd like to see if there's a village council member that would be willing to be on it as well. And then I was gonna ask, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I was gonna ask Kelly if she would be willing to be a part of that exploratory committee as well.
If I duck, you can't look
So
that
that's
one,
it.
right?
So that's the motion. And this is, again, just starting the process of looking into it. What exactly does it entail? Is it something that would even work for us? Is it something that, we want to do? The cities that I've talked to have had a lot of success with it. And they've kind of told me what roadblocks they've had, what's worked, what hasn't worked, how they've included different food establishments that maybe don't have alcohol but are able to still take part in kind of the atmosphere of a social district. So that's the motion, is to start the creation of exploring that.
Second.
So, up for discussion, would this be something that you would, if it passed, that you would bring to the village council, or would you want me to go there and ask somebody, present
Either-
at public forum?
Either way, I can do it during my DDA liaison request.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be great.
Okay, I
Okay.
can put that on for coming up.
I'll send you an email on that. Okay. Any other discussion or questions on the social district at this point? Other than kind of creating our exploratory committee?
I guess my one comment is, I think it might be interesting to call Plymouth and find out what is the issue?
Yeah,
What is the
what's interesting,
problem?
because I haven't heard that there's pay to
I've
participate
never
from
heard of
anyone
that
else.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that may be something that they're just doing or trying.
It might be, and,
Um,
yeah.
But that's not something that I heard from any other area,
Okay.
but definitely something to look into.
I
mean, that's
had,
what that
I had
committee-
just heard that it was related to ADA, and I thought, well, there must be some big change that's needed that the village is trying to come up with money for or something, and I thought, boy, we probably should get some optics on that, so that if there is something that we need to do, it doesn't come as a surprise later.
Mhm.
Because they were talking about they had to cut back their outdoor eating area by like 30% next year at the
Yeah,
beginning of
I
the
don't,
season.
that, we'd have to look into that. I've
Yeah.
That's
never
what,
heard
kind
that.
of what the committee's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's the only comment I have.
So is there anyone on the board who is interested in being on the committee?
I think Marty is.
Marty?
I don't have alcohol.
Right, but I think you are in the business
Yeah,
of,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know,
That's fine.
All right,
you're the closest, I think, to
great.
to that.
And Kelly, you said you would?
I mean, I could
Thank
use
you.
alcohol in there, but.
So then if it's myself, Marty, Kelly, if you can ask the village council, and then I'll reach out to the restaurants in town that have alcohol, and we'll see if we can get any or all of them to join us, because it's really gonna be, kind of about them, that we can get moving on that.
There was a lot of
Real
interest
quick,
when
I don't know how deep you've gotten into it, because we looked into it, and I think it's divided by roads, major roads, you can't cross streets, and you have to have 2 liquor licenses adjoining within the district.
What do you mean by adjoining?
There has to be 2 established liquor licenses in that
Yes,
district.
In that-
So the only feasible place that we ever found in the village would be Office Pub in Youngers. Because there's not 2 other liquor licenses, not divided by a road.
oh, I see what you're saying, okay,
Because they don't want you crossing the street.
with alcohol, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
that
good to
was
know,
the
yeah.
only viable place we.
What about, Masonic?
Yeah, do you guys have a liquor
Masonic
license?
doesn't have a permanent liquor
Oh,
license.
okay.
And Kevin did say he could open up or have someone open up Wednesday on a side note. if we-
Oh, perfect, thank you. So, okay, that's something we'll have to definitely talk about and see if it's, that's the first thing, is it even viable for us?
Right, we gotta look for the potholes first,
Yeah.
right? I mean, one giant problem
Mhm.
could just kill the whole thing, and we don't wanna waste a bunch of time.
Are you interested in being on our committee?
I looked into that one pretty
Yeah.
heavily, and we looked at getting a license to do that.
To make
see
it
how-
happen.
It just, the cost wise for us to get a license and seem viable, and that would have been the only other spot with park in the back that would have been
Made sense.
usable space.
Yeah, interesting, okay. All right. So that brings us to board member comments.
You, I don't know if you needed it, you made a motion.
Did I? I thought we did it.
I actually thought you
all in
made the
favor?
motion and he second, right?
Just do it all in
Oh, all in favor?
favor. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, now board member comments.
J on the agenda, we rolled into B, funding requests earlier.
Correct. Yep. All right. Deborah?
Nothing.
John?
No, I'm good.
I do have something from the village. Unfortunately, when our tax bills went out,
Yes.
I'd let you guys know, the village treasurer had accidentally left off the DDA tax on those that lived in the district. So if you have a business, if you receive tax bills in the DDA district, you still have the DDA tax to pay. Other bills are being sent out with clarification. I did have somebody come in Friday with it to pay that part of the tax, so I know that they should be at the residences. So that is not a fake bill, it's a second one. If it's highlighted, that means that's what you have left. If you've already if you already paid, came in and paid, she highlighted, Treasurer Miller highlighted then the little bit that you had left. If you haven't paid, then wait for the new bill and pay it all in one. We have till September 15th to pay our taxes, but just want everybody to know that that is not a fake bill. This is not, a hoax. It is,
Second bill is.
yes, just be aware. That's all.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the only comment I have is, let's make sure that we have our pillar meetings in the next month, so we can kind of solidify, so that when we do have our workshop, we can all come with the 2 to 3 items that we're able to do this year.
So we've just been going forward with our meetings even if we are missing a member? Is that allowed?
Yeah,
Otherwise, I don't think we'd be able to pull it together, so.
yeah, I mean, we
Okay.
invite all the members, if they come, great, if they, the committee still has to meet.
Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Motion passed. Meeting adjourned.